Happy Tuesday!
My name's Nick.
My name is Alan.
And welcome into the dungeon.
As dawn breaks, a fierce storm rises and you are woken by the violent rocking of the ship. The floor of your cabin is awash, and the shouts of the crew can hardly be heard above the howling wind. The brothers quickly dress, gather up their equipment, and make their way to the deck.
The brothers are soon joined by the captain, who takes hold of Torin's arm.
Get down to your cabins!
Suddenly, as the brothers start to go down, there is a thunderous crack, as high up in the rigging, part of the mast snaps. The brothers look up to see the shattered pole falling down towards them. This episode's starting off with a bang, quite literally, hopefully not on Torin or Lander's head. We have to pick a number from the random number table, and if we do this the way we've been doing so far, we're both going to have to roll, and then the highest picks it.
That's right, unless we both roll in the same bracket, in which...
Yeah, that's happened quite a few times.
Yeah, so we just go with the bracket we rolled in.
Right, here we go. Roll 1 of episode 7. I'm going to go first just because my hand is already on the mouse. Ooh, it's a good old 8.
Starting strong with an 8, and now my turn to roll. That's a 0, but for these rolls, does it count as a 10 or only for fights, right?
Oh, the 0 is actually higher in this section.
Oh.
Because it goes from 1 to 4, 5 to 9, and 0. So you need to roll then. The deciding roll for Torin and Lander's fate.
That's a 5.
We're turning to section 141 then.
Torin, watch out!
The mast smashes into the deck. A splintered beam hits Torin and Lander as they're knocked overboard. Gasping for air, the brothers fight their way to the surface and catch hold of a hatch cover. They are half stunned and lose 2 endurance points.
Oh, damn. So we're in the water now.
Yeah, I was going to say I hope we both know how to swim, but yeah, I think that was established when we were deciding to go down the river. That brings Torin down to 22 out of 24 endurance points and Lander to 31 out of 33. This episode is not messing around.
Shaky start.
Torin, pull yourself up.
Hold on to this makeshift raft, Lander.
I think the chainmail's weighing me down.
Me too. We're gonna have to take it off, or we're gonna drown here.
Joe Dever, you're doing us dirty.
Yep.
It says here that if we're wearing chainmail waistcoats, which we got from the King's Armory, we must discard it now or be drowned. So
we will be drowned for sure.
Yeah.
That's what it says. You will be drowned for sure. So yeah, no option other than to take our chainmails off, which gave us 2 endurance points of our max.
Funnily enough, that means we're now up to full HP.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh dear, I was really enjoying my chainmail.
The brothers feel dizzy and sick. As a heaving sea buffets them relentlessly, they gradually slip into unconsciousness. When they awake many hours later, the storm has passed. By the position of the sun, Lander judges it to be late afternoon. In the distance, they can see a small fishing boat, and beyond it, on the horizon, land. The only trace of the Green Sceptre is a hatch cover on which you now sit. So we lost the Green Sceptre. Man overboard, or men overboard, and that's it. They didn't even bother to stop.
They've just gone off.
Yeah, they just left us to die. Very good.
The Kai Lords sent on a quest to retrieve the Sommerswerd, and they've lost us.
Fantastic. So anyway, if we wish to use our cloak to try and signal to the fishing boat, we turn to section 278. And if we wish to ignore the boat and paddle towards the shore, we turn to section 337.
And we've just been knocked out. Are we going to be fit enough to paddle towards the shore? But then again, something tells me from experience in the book and a half so far that we've read that there's key details missing. We're going to wave at that fishing boat, and then there's going to be a cra sort of chilled there, trying to catch the the latest fish to sell in market or something.
Yeah, I agree. It's a tough choice. I'm thinking that if it's a fishing vessel and we're supposed to be in friendly territory, right? They had an allegiance with the other place.
From what I recall, yes.
The Druenor, no? Had an agreement.
Yeah,
sorry.
Dunanor or something.
Druenor, yeah. Anyway, I'm thinking they probably are friendly. And as you say, if we need to paddle, how long are we going to take? And what other dangers will we find as we paddle away to the shore? Don't know, it's a tough one.
I think Lander's going to want to use his cloak and try and signal the fishing boats.
Lander, there's a fishing boat over yonder.
You're right. We've got anything to signal them with.
Yes, let's get their attention.
Yeah, I can try and use my cloak.
Lander unbuttons his cloak and starts waving it over his head.
Hey, you! Over there!
Over here.
Help!
We're stranded.
We're turning to 278. Lander desperately waves his Kai cloak above his head till he's almost near exhaustion. We now have to pick a number from the random number table to see if his effort has been rewarded.
Okay, I'll roll first this time. That's a big old 9.
Nice. And I've rolled the complete opposite, the big old 1. That's over to you to roll.
Okay, so now we're rolling to decide the section. It's another big old 9.
Very nice. Don't go wasting all those 9s now, though.
No. I've rolled a 10 and 2 9s. Oh, damn. Lander concludes that the crew are either blind or have no intention of rescuing them. The fishing boat continues on its course out to sea, and without seeming to notice them, disappears over the horizon.
It's no good, Torin. They can't see us.
What are they, blind?
They must be.
Or dumb?
Perhaps both.
Perhaps they think we're Kran or Giak that have fallen in the battle if they saw us.
We need to go, Lander. We need to paddle out of here.
Pulling off a loose plank from the hatch cover and using it as a makeshift door, Torin sets about paddling towards the shore.
We've got no option here but to turn to section 337. When the brothers are only 50 yards offshore, they slip into the waves and swim towards land. As they finally reach the beach, they sink their fingers deep into the wet sand and slowly claw their way up the beach, find the shelter of some dunes. They are exhausted and very hungry. The only possessions they have saved are their gold crowns, their backpack, and any special items that we did not discard in the storm.
Oh, Joe Dever, you'd play me dirty!
Not only have we lost our beloved chainmail, we've also lost any weapons and backpack items that we possessed before the storm. Now, does that mean we lose our shields as well?
Are they special items, the shields?
Yeah, so thankfully we have not lost our shields.
Silver lining.
Barely. We've just realized that we also lose our meals.
Yeah.
So,
We're going hungry tonight.
yeah, this is not a good start to the episode. A few hundred yards away, the brothers notice clumps of small twisted trees laden with purple fruit.
I'm hungry, Lander. We need to eat. Those fruits, they look enticing.
I've got no idea what those are. Let me try and hunt something. Without a sword and without a bow and without an axe.
I trust you, Lander. You can do this.
So if we have the Kai discipline of hunting, which Lander does, we turn to 139. If we wish to eat the fruit, we turn to 228. And if we do not wish to eat this fruit, we lose 3 endurance points and turn to 171. I think we've got a consensus that we're gonna go hunting.
Hunting we will go, hunting we will go.
I don't trust Joe Dever, but hunting we will go.
The training that Lander received in the art of hunting has taught him to recognize most of the poisonous and non-poisonous fruits to be found in northern Magnamund. These purple fruits are Arnuma, a sweet and nutritious food. You quickly eat your fill and then store enough of them in your backpack for 2 meals.
Actually, now that I think of it, Torin, these fruits are Larnuma. Here, let's store some of these in our backpack. They're safe to eat.
Really? They're delicious. I've never had something like this.
So sweet.
So tender. Now what, Lander?
Now there appears to be a road that disappears towards the east and west. I'm not really sure where we are.
So after a quick consultation of our map, we think we are somewhere past Wreck Point. I'm guessing before Ragadorn.
Or maybe we went a bit further and are in between Ragadorn and Port Backs.
So in either case, I think we should turn east then.
Yes.
Lander and Torin walk for over 3 hours along the lonely coast road before night begins to fall. They're very tired and decide to get some sleep and then continue at dawn.
Torin, you must be careful here. Do you remember those tales our Kai Masters told us? Of the wildlands between Summerland and Durano?
Yes, Lander. Wild dogs. They roam the wastelands at night.
We need to find cover. Perhaps a tree.
That one there. That looks large enough.
That will do. Let's climb up.
Lander bends down, offering his hands as a step up for Torin.
Thank you, Lander.
The brothers' rest is very refreshing. We restore 2 endurance points if we've lost any. We have, but not from our current endurance points. Instead, our max endurance points has gone down.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to that damn storm.
So we are not given a choice but to turn to section 312. Although the brothers awake to a cold and rain-swept dawn, the branches of the tree and their Kai cloaks have kept them warm and dry during the night. Looking along the coast road, in the distance, they can see a wagon heading towards them.
Not this again.
A wagon.
This could be alright.
Should we trust them, Lander? In a strange land.
Maybe strange, but they must be heading over to Ragadon. Perhaps Port Backs. Perhaps emergence we can travel safely with them. We're like sitting ducks if we walk alone down this road.
Let's get off the tree. Let's flag them down.
Hey you, over there!
Hey! Over here!
So we've decided to flag down this wagon, which means we're turning to 117. The other option was to try and jump onto it as it passes beneath the branch. We're not doing that.
No, they're gonna think we are
Bandidos.
bandidos or some sort of ruffians.
As the wagon approaches closer, the brothers realize that this is a large passenger wagon, similar to those used by highway travelers of Summerland. The driver pulls his horses to a halt and stares at them from under the wide brim of his hat.
Where are you bound for, my friend?
Hey! Where are we bound? We're bound for Ragadorn. You there by noon today. The sea will cost you 3 gold crowns, but you can ride on the roof for only 1.
I'm happy to pay only 1. What say you, Torin?
Lander, we've been through a lot. We've got the money. Let's ride under a roof.
We need to buy new chainmail, new weapons.
It's only 3 gold crowns each, Lander. It's raining.
Suppose it wouldn't do us much good if we catch our death out here.
Rude and tootin'. Well, you better listen to that little chap right there. It's always best to travel undercover.
Alright, so we decided to take the man's offer and travel first class.
6 gold. Together, 3 each.
Just updating our action shots and removing the gold crowns. And we are turning to section 37. Inside the coach it is warm and dry. The brothers shake the rain from their Kai cloaks. They notice 3 other passengers on board. 2 women, and a man who's snoring loudly. One of the women looks up and smiles.
We should reach Ragadorn in 6 hours.
She says, placing her basket on the floor so the brothers can sit beside her. They learn that she lives in Ragadorn. She tells us a little about the port.
Since Killian the Overlord died 3 years ago, Ragadorn has been ruled by Lachlan, his evil son. He and the mercenaries are nothing but pirates. They bleed the people dry with the heavy taxes, and if anyone complains, they are quietly disposed of. It's a sorry state of affairs. If you take my advice, you leave Ragadorn as soon as possible.
Thank you for the information. We certainly don't intend on staying long.
During this journey we must eat a meal, or lose 3 endurance points. Good thing we got that fruit before. So just updating our action shots to remove 1 fruit each. In the distance, the brothers can hear a bell tolling. They look out of their window and see the city of Ragadorn. The coach passes through the west gate and pulls to a halt. As they jump to the ground, they are greeted by the awful smell of this dingy seaport. A rusty sign nailed into a wall says, "Welcome to Ragadorn."
You can board a coach to Port Backs at the coach station near the east gate of the city.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, son.
We're presented with 3 options here. If we wish to walk north into Westgate Lane, we turn to 122. If we wish to head along south along the West Bank Wall, we turn to 323. And if we want to walk east to Axe Lane, we turn to 257.
I mean, out of the 3, Axe Lane sounds the least appealing.
But it is
Although-
to the east, which is what that lovely lady told us to go.
That's true, and you do need an axe, so maybe you can find one in Axe Lane.
If you can't find one in Axe Lane, where are you going to find one?
That's right. So,
257 it is?
257. This rubbish-strewn cobbled street runs between rows of ramshackle, rot-infested houses and shops. The few inhabitants of Ragadon that the brothers see appear a cheerless lot, their faces haggard and drawn. They shuffle through the gloom, hunched against the pouring rain, their eyes fixed on the cobblestones and their feet. The LoneWolves reach a junction where Axe Lane bends towards the north, and another street heads off towards the east. If we wish to continue north and enter Black Knight Street, we turn to section 335, or else we will be heading east to enter Sage Street by turning to section 181.
It makes sense to turn east, but perhaps at Black Knight Street there's weapon stores.
You're right, but there's probably more weapons in the capital.
But what if we get ambushed on the coach on the way there? We literally have nothing.
You want to explore this port town then?
Only briefly. Spend some of our coin.
Very well, Lander. I'll follow your lead. I don't need weapons myself.
Yeah, you've got that power of the mind, don't you?
Mind blast.
Let's just head up Black Knight Street. See if there's anything there.
Let's go.
The name to me suggests some sort of weapons or smithy. After a short walk, the brothers notice a sign hanging outside a small shop. Damn this town. Didn't the other sign say Sage Street?
You think that Sage is in Sage Street?
Well, why the hell are we outside Claspar, the astronomer and sage?
I don't know. But we should enter, Lander. Maybe we can get some information.
I agree. Ask him what the damn weapons are.
So here we were given the option to enter the shop and ask how we can reach Duranor. So we turn to section 161, or ignore the shop completely and continue. And we turn to 61. So we want to go in and ask for Duranor, or we continue exploring the street?
I think we should go in. I feel we've been duped here.
Okay. The shop appears to be empty. The brothers wait and look at the merchandise for nearly 5 minutes, but still no one appears. They are about to leave when they notice a map hanging inside the door. It is a plan of the port of Ragadon. The Ragadon stables and coach station is clearly marked near the east gate of the city, which we already knew. This is where land transport can be found to take you to Port Bax. Lander memorizes the map route to the east gate, and the brothers leave the shop. They run back to Axe Lane and turn east into Sage Street. At the end of this winding lane, they arrive at the Ragadon Bridge, the only connection between the east and west sides of the city. They push their way across a crowded bridge and run along the cobblestones of East Trade Lane.
Looks like we made it, Torin. Over there, next to the large building. That coachman.
You're right. It says Port Bax. Journey time 7 days.
7 days. This does not bode well.
We don't even have food for a day, let alone 7.
Oh, no weapons either. I want to go back to Sage Street.
So we've got two options here. The first is if we wish to approach the coachman and buy a ticket, we turn to 136. If we have no money, which we do, we would have turned to 238, so buy a ticket I guess it is.
Yep,
The fare to Port Bax is 20 gold crowns.
says the coachman in a gruff, Ragadorian accent.
I hope you have 20 gold crowns apiece. Otherwise you ain't going nowhere other than on your own 2 feet.
Yeah, we are the Lone Wolves.
Shh, Torin.
Sorry. Yes, we are the Lone Pigs. We got 20 gold crowns each.
Lone pigs, you say?
Yeah,
Where you come from, boys? Lone pigs.
we come from Manon Island.
Man and I. Well, up on in, boys.
So we do have 20 gold crowns each, so we will use it to purchase said tickets. Lander is now down to 11 crowns, and Torin 4.
Looking a little poor now.
There's no money for weapons anymore.
Can't help but feel that we're getting to the end of this book. We're being stripped of our weapons, of our gold, and of our dignity.
So anyway, we turn to section 10.
The brothers pocket their tickets, which we mark as a special item on our action chart, and the man takes us to a coach that is waiting near the east gate of the seaport. It is empty and the brothers take a seat near one of its circular windows. They are relieved to find that the seat is quite comfortable, for the journey to Port Bax will take 7 days. Stowing the equipment beneath the seat, what equipment? Thank you, Joe Dever.
The shield.
Yeah, that's literally it. They settle back into their comfort zone and doze off. As they awaken, there are 5 other passengers, and the journey to Duranor has already begun. We now need to pick a number from the random number table, so let's do this. I'm going to go first this time. Oh, it's another 9.
Okay, I feel we are wasting them now. It's my turn to roll. And 7, not too bad. But you rolled higher, so you decide with the next roll.
Well, we both roll within the bracket, so
Oh.
shall we just turn to 339 then?
Yeah, that's right. After only an hour, the coach is stopped by some armed horsemen. They wear the black ship and red crest emblem of Lachlan, the overlord of Raggadorn.
In the name of Lachlan, the overlord of Radorn, we demand gold in payment for those exit taxes. 1 gold crown from each of you.
The other travelers each place a crown on a small plate and hand it to Lander.
Now what about you two, jackrabbits? Pay up, or get on your high horses, those 2 feet of yours, and start walking.
We're not jackrabbits. We're wolves.
Shh, Torin.
Pigs, I mean.
Little piggies. Going to market, or you go home.
We're going home.
Well, if you don't pay up, we'll be having some bacon.
Lander, give me a crown.
Wise choice, Torin. I don't trust these people, but we're unarmed.
Quit your jibber-jabbing and pay up.
So as we are able to pay the tax, we do so, and the coach is allowed to go on its way.
Also, we hope, as we turn to section 249.
Now, before we find out what happened to them LoneWolf boys, we're gonna call it an episode.
Rooting tooting. Yee-haw!
What episode, boys?
We lost all our damn possessions.
And all I go to.
Yeah, I don't know why we're doing that accent. Let's be real.
No, but we're committed now.
If that wasn't the intended Raggadard or whatever it was called accent, we apologize to all Lone Wolves fans. But yeah, that's where we are at this moment. It's been interesting, no fights, but a lot of downs, I'd say. A lot of downs.
Been all downs.
Yeah.
Hasn't been any highs.
But it feels as if we're close now to the place we're going to, really, because we're on a coach pretty much on the way there. So
Yeah, but only half an hour in and we've all been terrorized.
Oh, yeah, and it's 7 days. I think an hour in, it said, and it's 7 days of travel. So let's see what awaits us in these coming days.
Nothing good based on today. But if you can't wait until next week and you want to get your fix of Into the Dungeon, why not visit www.i2td.com, follow all our links there to our social media pages, and why not join our Discord server? Pop by and say hello.
Oh, howdy do!
Whilst you are there at our website, why not click the link to the Buy Me a Coffee page, where there you can donate some potions that in this season that we're playing, we're taking them to be rerolls. So by donating a potion, you're helping us out as a podcast, and also you're taking part in the stories we tell by exactly that, allowing us to reroll one of our poor rolls that will surely help us out in this adventure. If you don't wish to donate, there's also a possibility to become a member by joining one of our tiers. There you'll find extra episodes that we call Into the Studio, where we discuss the episode we played on the day. So if you fancy listening to some more of us, head on over there.
If you can't subscribe or don't wish to, but still want to help out the podcast, you can certainly do so by liking, subscribing, commenting, following, leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your podcast player of choice is, or in real life. Next time you're down at your FLGS and you want to share an exciting, enticing, engaging new podcast with your friends, spread the good old name of Into the Dungeon. And that brings us on now to the end of the episode club.
The last ones standing.
If you're new here, we give you a password, and you use that password in a comment so that we know that you have the highest constitution of all our listeners, and you've made it through to the very end of the episode.
The highest endurance points.
Oh yeah, in this system it would be the highest endurance points. Hopefully you haven't lost your chainmail.
All your weapons.
Not that I'm bitter. So what is today's password?
Today's password is Rootin' Tooting.
Rootin' tootin'. Yeah.
So there you have it, Rootin' Tootin'. Make sure to use it in a comment that catches our attention. We review all comments that we receive, and you will be placed in our Discord server's channel. The last one standing, where your comment will stand in the halls of the Sommerswerd. And I think that's about it for tonight. Make sure you tune in next week to find out what awaits Lander and Torin, the Lone Wolves, as they continue their travels on this coach. Hope to see you next week as we delve
into the dungeon.
Lander! There's a fishing boat. Lander, there's a fishing boat. Yay, partner.
I don't know why these characters are Western. We're going East.
I know, they're coming from the west. No. Oh no.
What are you?
In the name of Ruin Torin, I pitch. Demand a gold payment from each of you for God damn it.
No.
What about you two?